Welcome, fortune cookie seekers. This is your astrological report for the week of August 24th. Welcome, fortune cookie seekers. This is our astrological report from August 24th through the 30th. This week is going to contain an enormous emotional release for everybody. We've got a full lunar eclipse in Pisces. Well, it's actually a full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. Good Lord, what are we in for? I know a lot of people are still reeling from the solar eclipse in Leo. Guess what? Whenever you get the solar one, you get a lunar one too. So let's get a little bit nutty on this. We also have Mercury is entering Virgo. It's meeting the sun and clashing with Uranus. We're going to have some crazy stuff. What's the translation? Because that's why you're here. We may receive the clarity that we desperately wanted, but not in the form that we may have expected. So buckle up, my buttercups. We are going to get down to it. So what is the biggest thing that's going on in the sky for the week of the 24th of August? We have the sun in Virgo. We've officially entered Virgo season. It moves us away from Leo's performative attitude. Now, I'm not slagging up my Leos here. Leos like to perform. I don't want to say it's performative and fake, but they like to perform. And we move toward Virgo's practical questions, which is what actually works. So I want you to think about it in these terms. So the Leo will go, let's just try anything. Let's see what gets people applauding and standing up in the seats. And Virgo goes, wait a minute, let's strategize this a little bit more. So it's the week to edit, organize, schedule, clean up. Organizers, those of you that are decluttering, get with it. You're going to do it. I will be decluttering a closet when I get done with dropping off my kids at school. You know why? Because I didn't make any plans for the stuff they were coming home with. So when they come home from school, you have to stash the stuff. I didn't have any room for it. So lesson learned. So, some of the things that we have been avoiding, we should be paying attention to. That closet, that's me. Mercury and the South Node on August 25th. Today, I'm recording this on the 24th, so you're going to be seeing this on the 25th. Mercury's contact with the South Node late in Leo can bring back a number of things. Old conversations, previous announcements that you may have missed, a former creative idea, outdated pride or defensiveness. Those of you that are holding up a shield, you may have to put that shield down. And someone attempting to control the narrative. You may get another player that comes in there to control the narrative. Stick around because we're going to be talking about Harry in our celebrity spotlight with all the craziness that's going on around him. So I want everybody to watch out for people that are repeating the same story because they have not yet accepted that either their audience has moved on or that their audience does not buy what they're selling. So you got to be careful about that. Mercury entering Virgo. Virgo is very comfortable. So when Mercury enters into Virgo, it's kind of like a really big thinker sits in a super comfortable chair, like a study chair. Like imagine you're in a wood paneled study and there's a lot of hunter green and duck decoys in there. And like you just sink into that leather chair and you just go, ah. So thinking becomes more precise, but it's because it's fostered with this really cushiony, but still practical environment. So I describe it as a leather chair because leather is comfortable. It gives with you, but a lot of the time the springs are stiff. The stuffing is stiff, and that's to accommodate the stretching of leather, which gives us that comfort level. So just be aware that thinking processes, strategizing can be very, very easily achieved. So this is a good period for research, editing, scheduling, any of your paperwork and problem solving that you have to do either at work or in your personal life. It's bad for people that are super perfectionist and nitpicky and dissect every word. So if you're somebody that edits and goes word by word, don't do it this week. You are not going to be able to do it. Some of the surprises that come out of this kind of astrological forecast is that tiny details may become more important facts. So for things like, and the Nancy Guthrie case is not associated with this, but they may find a clue that they missed in the Nancy Guthrie case or any other famous situation like that, any famous crime that we're looking at. So the Sun Mercury Cazimi, August 27th. This is a flash of clarity. So the sun illuminates Mercury, and it gives us an opportunity to understand the message that's underneath all of the noise. It's a burst of inspiration. This is very Page of Wands kind of, it's like between the Page of Wands and the Knight of Wands. So write down all of your ideas, take voice notes, whatever you have to do. If you are a creative, especially, I want you to be keeping track of the exciting things that are popping into your skull there, okay? So Mercury square Uranus on August 28th produces sudden news, technological problems. Not as bad as Mercury going retrograde, like you're not going to lose your coffee maker like I did. Shocking statements can come out, travel or scheduling disruptions. All eyes on Harry and Meghan, because I'm wondering if on the 28th they're going to have a situation. Unexpected information, and sometimes, and I'm usually this girl, the one who blurts out something that I'm not supposed to say. So back up your work. Check your microphone. I know some of you have commented that my microphone is not as receptive as possible. I did check my settings and I think I changed something. Hopefully it sounds better. Confirm your appointments and read messages twice before you send them. It could be like, don't publish that, but then you just write publish that. Try not to do that. So let's talk to the big one, the full lunar eclipse in Pisces that we have coming on August 28th. For us here on the East Coast, it's going to be around 12:18, 12:19 a.m. on Friday. So all of you mark your calendars for that. And it is a full moon. Oh, that's when the full moon happens. And it's accompanied by that deep partial lunar eclipse. So astrologically, Pisces, just a little reminder, represent intuition and dreams, compassion and sacrifice, escapism, denial, secrets, endings, spirituality, art, the unconscious, all kinds of fun, murky, different things. Something emotionally unsustainable may reach a conclusion during this. If you remember that list that I just rattled off, there's a lot of stuff in there. And in these interpersonal relationships, sometimes we get to a point where we can no longer deliver. We have overpromised. And that's what a lot of you may be doing during this period. So Virgo wants proof. Pisces want faith, undying faith. They want true believers. And this eclipse is going to ask us whether we can respect our intuition without abandoning reality. So this is really going to be fun for all of you that are working on your psychic skills. You are going to be discerning between, is this real or is this not? So have some fun with it. A couple of warnings here. Don't make any permanent decisions based on temporary emotional feelings or something that is put in place temporary. That's my two warnings. It's emotional feelings and something that is put in place temporarily. So if it's something that's put in place temporarily at work, you may have to think about it for a couple days before you react. Just be patient. Weekly opportunity is let go of your fantasies or your habits or obligations that don't produce meaningful results. I found myself over the weekend asking myself, is this a good way to spend your time? Is this an effective way of spending your time? And I was asking that of some people around me. Is this a good usage of your time? It's fun to have fun, but sometimes you got to get the work done. So that is it for the sky report. I hope you guys are well prepared for all of the craziness that's going on in the sky. We are going to get into your signs next. So we always start out with Aries. So my Aries is heading off for her final year of undergrad study. We're so proud of her. She's done an amazing job, and it's just going to be great to watch her get through this last year and also go off to graduate school. It's going to be so much fun. So some things that Aries needs to know. The good news for this week, a private truth will become very clear. Rest and dreams and intuition can help you solve something that force or reality has not. So if you do have some questions, Aries, or if you are trying to problem solve, ask yourself before you go to bed. Write it down in your dream journal. See if it comes to you in the dream. Make sure that you write in that dream journal the minute you get up, okay? The bad news is that exhaustion or buried emotions may catch up on you. So if you have been stuffing down some emotion, if there are things that you haven't said and you've been eating them, I want you to try and get those out. It's like we are lancing a boil right now. I want you to get some of those emotions out. They are going to make you exhausted, and they are going to contribute to burnout. So be careful with that. Surprises, a secret or old memory or a behind the scenes situation may surface. So you may be privy to something. I know my Aries is very tight-lipped. She probably won't tell anybody, but she may get to see something. You may get to stick it in your pocket and use it for later, but who knows? So Aries, the eclipse is going to fall in your 12th house territory. That's really hard to say. You can't outrun everything by moving faster. Your power this week comes more from something that's counterintuitive to you. Retreat and reflect. Know what must end. You are going to figure that out. And again, use your dream journal if necessary. Taurus. So support may come through your friends, your clients, your crowd, or a larger community. You're not going to get support or you're not going to get the best support from your closest intimates. It's going to come from like those second layer of people around you. So make sure that you give that trust, okay? You can trust that second level to give you some support. It's not, don't be so cloistered. Let's put it that way. Don't be so cloistered. Bad news is you also may realize that you've outgrown a group. So if you travel in different social settings, if you have different groups of influence that you're in, you may discover that one is supporting you so much better, one is not. You may start to outgrow that. Also could be a long-term goal. So if you're finding that your long-term goal maybe is becoming more unachievable, or if it's kind of outgrown you, feel free to change that goal or modify it. It's okay. You can use the steps that you've already executed to possibly get to that new goal. So you're going to be fine with that. So some surprises, unexpected people could become important allies. Again, those circles of influence that you're in, not primary personal relationships, but your circles of influence may have some shifting responsibilities. So Taurus, your future is changing because the team is changing. Think about yourself as a high school football coach. Your first string is graduating. They're leaving. You have to look for the other ones that are going to fill in those gaps. And you may find a wunderkind that is going to be the best quarterback. I am making sporting references. I know nothing about sports. I know nothing about sports. So you may find a great quarterback, running back, linebacker, defensive line. Look at me. I'm rattling off all these things, getting into sporting season. So you may find somebody that's going to fit the roles that you need a little bit better. So keep an eye out for them. Notice who celebrates your growth and who also feels very comfortable when you don't make advances, who feels very comfortable in your orbit when you remain exactly the same, or when you start spinning so fast. So, we want to see who's going to be the best of the best of the best of the best for you. So, Taurus, looks like you're going to have a pretty good week. Gemini, highlights this week. Career visibility. People are watching you, Gemini. They may even recognize you, or there may be some kind of professional breakthrough where you start to restructure some of your career goals or the career goals of your reports. If you have some reports, you may actually be bringing that whole team along with you. Could be professional breakthroughs. I want you to remember that. It may be splitting a couple departments into 2 separate groups or something like that. Very, very cool stuff. The best part is that your time is coming. Your time is coming. You're being illuminated as that lunar eclipse goes away. You're going to step out into that milky, beautiful moonlight. So the bad news is that a public misunderstanding or a sudden change of heart could kind of put a spotlight on you that's less than flattering. Just be mindful of social media this week. Make sure that you proofread, read everything through twice. I don't want you publishing anything, text message, email, social media, without looking it over a couple of times. Surprises, you may have an opportunity that arrives through some unexpected news. So Gemini, something is going to reach culmination in your career or reputation. The world may see you differently. You're going to make some changes too. Make certain that the new version of what is emerging out of that lunar eclipse is closer to the real you. All right. I know you guys have a lot of different faces, but that's okay. We just want one of them. Cancer, where are my Cancer buddies at? Drop those crabs in the chat. So it is a good time to study, travel, teach, publish, or explore your spirituality. So we're just in time for school to start. Cancers, we are like all about rubbing our hands together. It's a cozy time when kids go back to school. Maybe not for me because my kids aren't going to be here, but it's a cozy time at home. I used to make a pot roast every first day of school. My kids look forward to it every year. I don't have any pot roast to give them now, but it is what it is. So Cancers, you guys keep doing what you do best. Hang on to those touch points that nurture you, make you feel good emotionally. That's going to work best for you during this Pisces moon lunar eclipse. What I want you to do is pay attention to your psychic ability, ground yourself as much as possible, unless you want to get some crazy readings going on, then have at it, go bananas. Bad news is a belief that you relied on may no longer hold up. So you may have some of your fundamentals ruffled by this. Try not to freak out. Try not to be upset. Lean into logic. Okay. Sometimes we have to change our mind. Cancers, we're not as stubborn as some of the other signs. Lean into your flexibility for this one, your wateriness, and flow with the change. Okay. Surprises, information from another country, institution, or expert will change your perspective on something. So foreign information. Greg and I have a lot of friends from a lot of different countries. We're looking at you all out there, from Australia to England to Gibraltar to Spain. We've got people everywhere. We've got people in Belgium. We've got people in Japan. We've got people in New Zealand. Where else do we have people? I have a friend in China right now. What else? We've got friends all over the place. But so I may be getting some information from another country. Hopefully it's going to be good news and change my perspective for the better. But Cancers, I want you guys to watch out for it. The map is changing. You may not wind up where you originally planned, but it doesn't mean that you're lost. Getting there is half the fun. So I hope that that is enough to make you nervous for this week, Cancers. We're moving on to Leos. Leos, for the week of August 24th, financial truth and emotional honesty will create a path forward. So for those of you that are tinkering around with your finances, Leos, I want you guys to get in there and really be honest about what you're looking at. If you can afford it, go buy it. If you can't afford it, sell it. You know, you've got to figure out what is going to be the most comfortable financial situation for you. Now, I know you guys like luxury. Gold is your color. You look fabulous in fur, but sometimes you gotta make up some losses. The bad news is tied to this because it deals with shared money and debts and taxes. It may affect your intimacy because trust in what you thought was there is gone. So you feel like the net is gone and you're flying without a net. So someone's hidden contribution or expectation or extraction may become visible. If we're talking about finances, go over that debt sheet with a fine-tooth comb. Don't miss anything, and make sure that no one is hiding a debt from you if you have shared finances. So it's not the week to be like, oh, we'll deal with it later. This is the week, Leo, to ask who owns what, who owes what, and what prices are attached to it, even the emotional ones. So you've got a little bit of work ahead of you, but I believe that you can do it. Roar, baby, roar. Virgo, for the week of August 24th, a relationship reaches a moment of truth. Now, the astrology just kind of gives us the climate. The psychic stuff gives us the weather. So for some of you, I would have to divine what that is. But it can go either way, Virgo. For all of you out there, relationships may decide that they're going to bind together forever. Some may decide that they don't ever want to darken each other's doorway again. So there may be some splits, some breaks, some timeouts, and time offs. So just try and get through it the best you can. If you need some help, hit the link, book a meeting with me. I may still have some pay what you can readings. The bad news for this as well is that you may be carrying more than your fair share. So you may have been doing a lot of heavy lifting on the relationship that did not necessarily belong to you. Surprises, somebody reveals what they genuinely need or intend. So that's a good thing. Virgo, the eclipse is going to shine directly across your relationship axis. And that's why I'm telling you guys that some of you may be breaking up, some of you may be making up. It really depends on the other aspects in your personal chart. You're not going to be able to fix a partnership by doing the work of both people, though. You do have to realize if you are the only one on the team, maybe you need a better teammate. Clarity could deepen bonds, but it also may show you what needs to change. So really, Virgo, good luck to you guys. You guys are pretty nice out there. So hopefully you're going to have an easy week. It's not going to be too tumultuous with that lunar eclipse. Libra. Libra, a new routine, wellness plan, or system can improve your daily life. So for me, I use things like flylady.net. It's a house cleaning app. It does help me kind of sort out where what part of my house I'm cleaning. For the record, this week it's going to be the master bathroom and the master bedroom. Guess what? I cleaned my master bathroom with a toothbrush yesterday. So you may need a system like this that's going to work for you, like the flylady.net system. I'm not selling that or anything. I'm just telling you, referencing a system. I use other systems like Asana for projects that I'm working on. Tap into some of these tools. Even it could just be your Google Calendar. Tap into some of the tools and make sure that you create a new routine and use it for at least 21 days. See if it works for 21 days. It may take some of the friction out of your life. The bad news is that burnout is directly correlated with disorganization and also abandoning your task to rescue other people. So having a system or a routine will help you avoid that. Your body, some of the surprises your body may make its needs impossible to ignore. So that burnout may affect you profoundly. Some people that becomes a physical thing, some people it becomes mental burnout. So I want you to be very, very careful and create systems where you can work within them and come up for air every now and then. It's very, very important. Your calendar is going to reveal your priorities. If there is no room on that calendar for you to rest or recover or replenish, your system is not balanced, no matter how ambitious it looks. Don't say, I'll rest when I go to bed tonight, because that is not going to be enough for you. The brain needs to calm down as well. Let's get into Scorpio. Scorpio, you guys are reveling in all this fun eclipse stuff. The eclipse wants you to be creative, romantic, joyful, and have a lot of intuitive expression. So you may be getting some intuitive flashes. My mother's a Scorpio. Let's see if she starts calling me, because she always does that. She doesn't like to admit that she's psychic, though. So weird, right? She's pretty good at it. The bad stuff is that emotional drama or idealizing romantic situations, and this was going on the last few weeks too, is going to bubble up. It's going to become more of an option for you. It shouldn't. Leave that alone, all right? Make sure that you keep things fun. Don't get into the chaos, okay? Some of the surprises is that creative ideas or things that you become attractive to become impossible to ignore. So you almost get like obsessed with some ideas. The eclipse wants you to feel something, not investigate it to death. So create, flirt, play. Remember that joy is also productive. We don't have to be producing anything. We can just be having a real good laugh and a real good time, or sometimes a roll in the hay. I know you Scorpios like to do that. So have some fun, be careful, don't overdo it. Sagittarius. Emotional healing and important home or family decisions are going to be at the forefront. So make sure that you conclude those decisions. Full moons are about conclusions. The new moons are when we start things. So conclude all those family decisions and don't leave them kind of hanging out there. Because the bad news is that some old family patterns can resurface. So we want to avoid having that happen. Some of the surprises, a move or a household change could change your plans. Also family revelations. We could get a curtain pulled back. The full moon, again, the full moon is about concluding things. So this is endings that we have. Your foundation is shifting, Sagittarius. You may be redefining where your home is, who belongs there, and what emotional baggage is no longer coming with you. Makes a lot of sense, right? Makes a lot of sense. Capricorn. Capricorn, important conversations should be on your schedule every single day. You should be writing, negotiating, and working out the finer details. You should be getting these done. Bad news is miscommunication, jumping and answering before you fully understand what someone else is saying is a big part of this. Technological trouble may also dog you, and you also may get information overload. The important conversations should be some weighty information, so that information overload is likely. Make sure that you spread out the things that you have to look at. It's going to make sense better, and taking bites with a teaspoon is better than just ripping off a whole chunk with your teeth. News that rolls in may change your short-term schedule, and that's okay. You may get some other goodies in there. So say what you mean, leave room for new information, and try to be a little bit more flexible. The conversations may begin with facts, but they may end in emotional places. So just be a little bit mindful of how emotional you are. So Aquarius, a financial realization helps you value your talents properly. So Aquarian, you have gifts. And a lot of the time we give those gifts away. We don't demand payment for what they're valued. So I want you to look at your talents and make sure that you're not giving the cow away for free. Because the bad news is that you have some impulsive spending and attaching self-worth to income. And my Aquarian had something to say about that just the other day. So some of your abilities may be profitable. See if you can figure out if they are. Aquarius, this eclipse wants you to believe you deserve. Stop undervaluing and underpricing yourself simply because your gifts come naturally to you. You can still charge for them. Pisces. Highlights for this week: your personal liberation, visibility, and major emotional release. So, Pisces, your personal liberation, you guys tend to be very slippery. But sometimes people get a hold on you. If you've got somebody who's got a hold on you, tell them before you slip away. Please do that. If you are overwhelmed, which this is some of the bad stuff we're going to be feeling this week, overwhelmed or comparing how we're feeling and throwing it onto somebody else, feeling responsible for everybody's emotions and how they are functioning, that is going to add to you staying in a place where you don't need to. Some of the surprises is that you may make a decision that nobody else expected, including you. So Pisces, this is your eclipse. And so that means that your old identity is reaching an expiration date. You don't need permission to become the person you've already begun to be. That is the best part. So if you've outgrown some things, that may be some of the decisions that you make that no one else is expecting. So that is it for you, Pisces. And that's it for our 12 signs. We are going to move on to our celebrity spotlight. And I'm sorry, guys, but I had to make it Harry. So let's see what's in store for Prince Harry's astrology this week. So, guys, what do we have for him? Prince Harry, born September 15th, 1984, at the widely reported time of 4:20. I'm not making that up. It really is the widely reported Astrobank time for his birth. Virgo Sun around 23 degrees, Taurus Moon around 21 degrees, Capricorn rising at around 11 degrees, Mercury in early Virgo. So his chart is being activated in one particularly interesting place. The eclipse and Harry's Mercury. The Pisces eclipse is going to oppose the early Virgo area containing Harry's natal Mercury. Remember that Mercury represents speech, public statements, things that we're saying, things we're conveying, we're getting it out there, decisions and documents as well, contracts and negotiations. See a theme here? Travel and communications. And the story someone tells about themselves, otherwise known as your narrative. So it doesn't indicate that Harry will make an announcement right now. It indicates that the story is reaching an emotional turning point. Mercury, the Sun, and Uranus, they are doing some interesting things. So Mercury is entering Virgo, meeting the Sun and squaring Uranus. That's a rectangle, but squaring. Harry may experience abrupt changes in plans, leaked or unexpected communication, travel, housing, and document complications, a public statement that produces an unintended reaction. We just saw this with Meghan. A realization that forces him to rewrite the plan. So Harry's Virgo Sun, Taurus Moon, and Capricorn rising create a very earth-heavy personality. So what do we get when we get earth-heavy people? We do get people that are very slow to change their mind or move. The sparkiness that we see in Harry comes from a different part of his chart, but you can see even within that sparkiness, the things that he's passionate about, he's very rooted and inflexible on it. So best cases, this can make someone very steady and loyal. But once someone like this builds builds walls around a particular story or a particular narrative or a particular archetype, we're talking about victimization here. Changing direction can not only be admitting defeat, but admitting that they were wrong from the jump off point. So, the mea culpa in that case becomes, I was wrong about everything and I'm sorry. So his Taurus moon needs a lot of emotional security, familiarity, and physical stability. I think those things have been lacking since the move to America, not only because they were in borrowed or rented property for a time, but there really is, it was a culture shock for me to move from the East Coast to the West Coast of this country. It's a very, very different culture out there. It is decidedly different from British culture. It's not like being on vacation every day. It's very different. So even though the return may look like a geographical decision, it may be more emotional than we're giving it credit for. It may be about safety, belonging. He might feel kind of lost without any familial relations there. Might be why he reached out to Adele. She's got an accent like mine. Might be why they reached out to Brooklyn Beckham when he was around. He's got a voice like mine. He sounds like me. He doesn't have a family either. So that I think is very curious. The Capricorn rising is very, very aware of their status, structure, and their legacy. They do, Capricorn rising, have a great deal of responsibility, and they accept a lot of responsibility, but they look at it sometimes as, how will this improve my legacy or my stock? So does Harry want freedom from the institution, or does he want a new position within that structure that he once rejected? So Capricorn, I think this Capricorn rising, I think with his lack of ability to rise to the top of Hollywood and California and that set, I think he's now like, I've got to get back to someplace where when I walk into a convenience store, everyone says, yes, sir. So what do we have that's good, bad, and surprises for Harry in the next week? He could finally have a practical conversation that is necessary to create a workable future. The bad part is that communication and agreements may become very chaotic. Location details may become chaotic or publicly disputed. Surprise here, Harry may change the story himself, or someone else may release information that changes it for him. And just prior to finishing up this recording, someone let me know that there is now a rumor that they are not coming at all because Meghan is not getting her role with Guy Ritchie. So is Harry returning home or attempting to rewrite the meaning of home? I think that he misses what he thought was the meaning of home and tried to replicate it, and now finds himself seeking out that which was never there. Think about it. So it's a crazy week of revelation, release, rapid changes of information. Virgo Sun asks us to check the facts, and the Pisces eclipse is going to ask us to check our hearts. Mercury square Uranus warns us that the message may arrive when we least expect it or at an inopportune moment. So I want you guys to remember that astrology is describing our weather, and whether you decide to carry an umbrella or dance in the rain is up to the cards. So I'm going to see all of you on Wednesday night, Eastern Time, Friday at 11 a.m. for our members only, and Friday at 1 p.m. for our general audience. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I didn't pull any cards, so drop your questions down below. I'll answer in cards, in shorts this week. I promise I'm going to be back to work on Wednesday. Thank you so much, everybody. See you in the future.